morning, good evening, good night, wherever or whoever you may be. I'm Alan Arante, and this is the Recluse podcast. Today's guest is Jason Ardissoni, otherwise known as Ardi. He is a multi-instrumentalist from Ventura, California. He plays drums in Goat Rhythm, a band that was recently featured on the Nardcore for Life compilation, and he is also the sole member of his one-man band, Ardi. He recently dropped a music video for his single Mind Maze, and that can be found on YouTube and Spotify. And what's interesting about it is that he wrote, performed, recorded, mixed, and mastered the track itself, and also designed, shot, and edited the music video that goes with it. In this conversation, we discussed the music writing process, the cooling periods that are sometimes required in order to not spoil a song. Ardi considers what instruments are easiest for him and which feel more like a chore. We discuss his music background and the skills he learned from the Ventura music program, and he describes how that has influenced his approach to music. We discuss the social dynamics that come into play when being a part of an ensemble and how it's different from getting to make all the choices yourself, as is the case in his band Ardi, where he's the only member. We talk about the satisfaction and fulfillment that can come with setting out to write and record music exactly as you want. Something that doesn't always happen when you're in an ensemble and you have to consider other people's desires and views. Ardi will soon drop a second single titled Let It Burn on September 25th. So without further delay, this is a portrait of Ardi.
This last thing I did is just I demoed those songs for a while and then just let them sit for a while before I actually recorded them. So I had the demos were kind of my writing process in a sense of I'd come back a month later and be like, oh, I could add this little whatever it is right here, or take this verse goes on too long or whatever. But coming back a month later or even a week later definitely helps. It always I always hear different things. I'm like, oh, duh, I should have done that. I was freaking lost in listening to this thing for too long to where, you get I don't even know if it's good anymore. But I have to step away definitely. Cause if I don't, I'm just I might hurt the song if I keep messing with it,
God, that's so real, dude. It is funny. You get to, or I have gotten to a point anyways with recording sometimes where I listen to it so much. I'm like, is this even good? Does this really suck? And I don't actually know, and so I think it's super important to let it cool down for a while. Have you gotten any, I'm wondering if things have changed for you a little since you put your song out, Mind Maze. The video's awesome and it's a badass song. What has the reception been for you?
Thank you. It's really been good. I didn't expect that many people to once I put it on Bandcamp and stuff, that's where I got a lot of people kind of hit me up hey, I want to put this on my show or whatever, podcast show or radio, and I got a few of those, which was cool. And cause I'd be happy if 5 or 10 people, dude, I like what you're doing, that's cool. But it's been a lot more than that. So I did not expect that, because I just doing the solo thing. I always kind of wanted to do it, and I have been working on these songs for I have material for a whole album, but I'm just doing the 4 songs now to kind of, and then doing the 2 singles first. And then the EP and then the whole album will come out just to milk it for everything, extend the life of it, instead of just releasing an album.
Is this an experimental process for you? Like, you know, do you sort of have a roadmap as to how to do that? Because you just listed a few things, you know, the 2 singles you're going to do, you're going to put out 4 songs first and then a record. You know, is this a roadmap that you just have in your head, or are you experimenting with how to do this kind of thing?
It's a little of both. Like, it is like somewhat of like, oh, I'm trying to like for myself now doing this, but just being in so many bands and stuff, and like, and then seeing other friends that are in other bands, like how they do things, you know, and how it like the marketing, you know, kind of like, which I suck at selling myself, you know, but I feel like I did pretty good on this whole thing, you know, on the single. But yeah, it's been like a learning experience, and just kind of like learning from other friends' bands and stuff. Yeah.
And I want to get more into your solo project, but I was curious about a couple of other things. So first of all, what year were you born? I'm wondering that. I think we're probably about the same age.
84.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so I'm 35, getting close to the 40.
Okay, interesting. You said you're 84.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm 89. So, I mean, you're not that much older, but you really are in the 80s. I was born 89 in December. I'm like barely a part of the 80s at all.
It's funny because when people ask me, I always want to say 85, but because I'm December 28th, so it's like the same idea. It's like
we're like cut from the same cloth. I kind of got that feeling for some reason just looking at you, like in some of your pictures. I'm like, you know, I kind of like this guy. Like and I don't know what it is. I'm not like a big crystal astrology person, but like on some level, I feel like I do connect with other Capricorns, and I wonder why.
Yeah, that's funny. It's funny that you said that because me and my girlfriend were listening to an episode the other day, and like she saw the picture of you, and she's like, dude, that dude looks like he could be your cousin or your brother or something.
Dude, I know. And it's so funny, the one-man project you're doing right now. Like, I've been tinkering with stuff myself. And it's a mood, you know, hashtag it's a mood. It's like, it's so weird. So when did you start playing an instrument?
The first, like, I like actually started playing drums when I was like 16, I think. I got my first kit, and that was like, I lived in an apartment, so I had to like I couldn't practice there. I tried and that didn't work, but I had a friend that played bass, so we like started jamming, and it was just like playing like punk. Both of us were just trying to like learn basically, and it was cool that we got to like do it together. And like I started playing drums there, and we actually like, his parents are cool enough. They're super chill, and they let us, like, I saved up working all summer, and like we made like a little room in his garage, and like try to soundproof it as good as we could. So we had that, and that's when I started playing drums. And a couple years later, like I actually like found these, which Bryant was one of them, the guy I lived with in Ojai recently. Him and then my friend Max that I met in high school, they were like freshmen when I was a senior. And I just like heard about these kids that were like guitar shredders. And I was like, oh, I wonder like what's up with these guys. And then I started jamming with them, and they already had like a band going, you know, but so started playing drums with them. And then that was like the first band. It was like the first high school rock and roll band, you know?
Yeah.
And then bass, it was like the second band I was in with a bunch of other friends that were like in the same group, you know, that it was actually everybody that played an instrument in that band was a drummer, but like the guitar player got like suckered into playing guitar, and then Jason played drums, and then I got like suckered into playing bass, and like fell in love. Like bass is like that, and drums are like my main like, I love playing drums and bass. Guitar is like guitar and singing is kind of like the chore of like, oh, if I want to write a song, I kind of have to to do this. Wow. But since quarantine, I've been practicing like guitar a lot because I just I've just always had, that's been like a weak point, kind of like a chore, you know.
So it sounds like you're self-taught. You must have started self-taught. I'm curious if you had lessons at some point, or if you took any like classes in high school or college or anything.
In like fourth grade, I like took just like stick and pad lessons at the Boys and Girls Club, and I had my own sticks, and like some bully kid broke one of my sticks, and then I just like gave up. But I always wanted to play drums, and then that's when I actually got my kit when I was like 16. But in sixth grade, I wanted, like, I joined the middle school band or whatever at Balboa, and I wanted to play drums in that, but everybody already like had the drum spot, so I played trumpet for like a year, but I got decent at it, but it was just another loud, annoying instrument that like you're not fucking practicing here at my house, you know, like so
Yeah.
that was just for like a year, but then but yeah, everything was self-taught until like guitar and bass, since I was like in a band with these awesome guitar players and bass players, I would just like after practice or whatever, like, hey, show me that scale you were playing, you know, like, and learn from those guys. And other than that, I like this last December, I Sage, my girlfriend, got me lessons with Tony Cicero, which is like, he's just an awesome teacher, awesome drummer from Ventura. And I took like 4 lessons with him when I was what was it? I was like 22. I went to the Ventura College music program. It was like ear training and I forget the other like theory and ear training. I think it was like 2 different teachers, Lawson and I can't think of the other guy's name, but those guys, like, it's crazy how good their program is for like a city college, you know. It was cool. But that class, ear training, got me, I didn't even know I could sing before I started doing that, you know. Like, or I wouldn't even try to do it, you know, but he kind of like, it's like, you can do it. You just got to get over like you're like hearing yourself, cuz I hate hearing my voice, you know, like.
That's pretty good. So you would say then that you have like a concept, whether you memorize it all or not, you have like a concept of like key and I guess scales and progressions, stuff like that, or do you lean towards, because you learned it, it sounds like, or do you like to lean towards more just going by your ear and what you like?
Yeah, it's a little of both. Like, yeah, I definitely do. I kind of learned how to like how scales work and how you could like write a song from it, you know? So I kind of use that a lot. And then my ears, like, I'm pretty good at hearing things, you know, when it comes to like playing by ear. But yeah, I know somewhat, you know. I'm not like these guys that could like sight read freaking Chopin or like any of this crazy classical stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Well, it sounds like you might have been, because I took what they called at Moore Park in aural, I think it's aural skills, but it was basically like sight singing. And I was terrible. I was terrible at sight singing, dude. Like my brain would freeze up. But is that what you were having to do when you were doing the singing stuff at in college?
No, I think as far as we got was kind of like learning just how to do solfege basically, and then like how it was like super basic like that, and it was it's like learning how to like go through the scale and actually like hit to pitch, you know, a lot of that, and then like learning how to you were learning like in theory and stuff like how to write music and stuff, but I don't know, like I get the concept of it. I know, like I guess I do know how to do it, but it's like one of those things where it's like I don't really need that, and I kind of knew that when I was there that I didn't really need to write, like actually write it down. I was more like, I had to take that class to, which I learned a lot of theory, which was cool. But like I had to take both of them as a pair, but I really wanted the ear training one. But that was like what I was really like interested in is that, you know.
Yeah, and those what's really great about education and how like we learn as people and musicians, what's really cool is you know, of course you never remember everything. You know, you finish the class and you leave. Of course you never remember everything, but it's really great the nuggets that you leave with, you know, just like the concept of solfege, the concept of this, you know, just having an idea of what certain things are. And it just pops up throughout your whole life. You know, anytime you do music, that education comes into play, even if it's just subtly. So that's cool. What you must have learned in that program.
Yeah, it definitely like opened my eyes, and like that's like what got me singing and like wanting to like write stuff, because before I was just like a drummer and a bass player when I had to be, basically. But that I have to thank Bryant, one of my friends for that, because he like talked me in to taking that class, because he took it like the semester before. He's like, dude, just do it. Like, and I was like, dude, I'm all stressed out from work. I was working at Petco at the time, and I was like, my schedule was all crazy, and I'm like, they're not going to give me that day off every day of the week, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. But I like fought with them, and like actually almost lost my job. But they needed me more than I needed them, so they let me have I think it was Thursdays off. I had to take that class. But if Bryant didn't like keep on bugging me, like, dude, trust me, you'll thank me later, I'm so glad that I took that class, because it was awesome, and I did learn a lot.
Are you also you're in your solo project, Ardi, but are you also in a band called, I think it's called Goat Rhythm, or is it Goat?
Yeah, Goat Rhythm. I was gonna try to make a goat sound. Goat Rhythm. Yeah. I mean, I play drums in that, and we all sing and stuff, and we all like write together and stuff. We had like a song come out today on the Nardcore for Life comp.
I saw the record. Yeah,
that was we're like on the digital part of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But so that was exciting and cool to be a part of that.
So you're the drummer in that band. How long has the band been together?
Like 4 years. We didn't start playing shows until like probably like we started jamming like about, I think, like January of 2016, I want to say. But we didn't start playing shows until like 8 months after that, probably, because we were like just trying to get stuff together, you know.
And it's a like a serious project. It's not because I haven't looked into you guys before. Just because I'm looking into you now, I'm starting to like see peripheral like bands and stuff. So forgive me for not knowing. But
no, it's all good.
Like the genesis of the band, it's like, was it a serious project? Is it you just goofing around? How just tell me about the band in general, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's serious. I mean, we just try to make stuff happen, you know, like just put music out and then like do some out of town shows. I mean, considering obviously not right now, but like since we've been together, we've been up to the Bay a few times, and we had like plans of doing some other stuff, but then obviously all this stuff happened. But yeah, we're just trying to like, we're working on another EP, and we did have like, because we put our first EP out, and like it was like connected to like our first full album, and we had a deal. We signed a deal with a guy to do like a licensing deal to like, to press records in Poland, and that was like a year and a half ago or something. And it just like, we kept bugging him because he said it was going to come out, and then it kind of like, in a sense, it kind of got shelved by him, kind of.
Oh, wow.
But now we're kind of like on the path of like, well, we're working on this new EP, and then we're gonna like get our like sell some more shirts and stuff online or something, and like throw down whatever we have to like just press that first one ourselves. We have like a whole idea for the this next EP. It's all gonna be like horror movie. Like every song is about a horror movie, which is all the songs are turning out pretty cool.
And you play drums in that band, but as you've shown in the Ardi video and the song, you can play everything. You can play guitar pretty well to my ears, and bass and drums and sing. So the fact that you're only the drummer and you do sing in goat rhythm, how do you balance that? Do you feel like you have enough input? Do you even think about how much input you're having in the band? How does it feel for you being just the drummer, quote unquote, in the band you're in?
Well, that's why that band is super fun, because all of us are like, there's no like ego when it comes to like, oh, I need to like shred on this part or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's everybody working together, and it's like we have so many different ways of writing songs. Like I'll demo something and like have like a whole song written and be like here, just let's learn this, and or show it to him and be like, first get the approval, like, oh, do you guys want to do this like there's been a couple times I've done that, and then another guy will come, like Casey or Brent will come to us, with an idea like where they have a fully formed song, or we just like sit together like, I have this riff, can you spice it up with something else, like. So as far as like input and stuff, like it's been one of like the most open bands I've been in, as far as like like not feeling like you're stepping on people's toes, because like especially when I'm riding with other people and stuff, like I'm like the ADD crackhead that's like, oh wait, I just heard something, wait, try this, like I know I could probably get so annoying because I just hear stuff, so I'm like, dude, wait, try this, and then it's probably like a lot to handle. But with those guys, it's cool because we've written songs so many different ways, and nobody's like, oh, I want to do that song because it sounds like this, or I don't want to like do this song because we need to sound more punk or whatever. We just mix it up. That's what makes it fun,
So
But
if you this isn't an important figure, but I would just be curious what you would say. What percentage of your ideas do you think get used? So let's say you have 10 ideas, how many out of the 10 do you get to use, or that get denied?
I feel like nothing really, and for any of us, nothing really gets denied. It just gets like reworked. You know what I mean? Like if it, like that would be the closest to denial. You know what I mean? Like nothing ever really gets fully thrown out. It's like, oh, that's a cool idea, but why don't we just like try it like this or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I because I know that it can get complicated in bands. Sometimes there are complex emotions, and
Yeah.
the feeling I get sometimes, and I try very hard not to take it personal, but I have the feeling sometimes when an idea doesn't go my way of killing my darling. Like it's like a literary. It's like a literary
Oh
term.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I totally
like
know.
killing
Yeah.
killing the thing you really want, and it's
Yeah.
and that feeling is so overpowering sometimes, where you'll fight tooth and nail to make sure it like gets in the song or stays there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been in bands like that. And with Go Rhythm, it's just not, I don't know. I think everybody's just so easygoing, because it is like, when you ask like, is it serious? Like it's serious. Like we want to like play shows and like put music out and stuff, but like we don't take ourselves too seriously, like even like playing live, like we're just screwing around, like just have a good time. And like we do want to like do what we're trying to do, like the crossover thing. We don't want to totally look like idiots and sound like crap, but we don't want to like fight over stuff either, or like feel like make anybody feel like that, where it's like, dude, I worked like 3 weeks on this thing and you don't even want to try it. You know what I mean? But I've been in bands like that where it's like you have an idea and you're all proud and it's like, no, that doesn't work for what we're doing. You know what I mean? And you're like, yeah, it's like a stab through the twisted knife too, jerk.
I mean, what do you think a reasonable response to that is? Say you, like you said, you worked on something for an hour, for a day, for a week, and you show up and nobody likes it. What's a reasonable response? I mean, do you just put it in your pocket? Do you cry until they, let it in, or what's a good response to that?
For me, I'm so passive. I think that's why I do work well with others, that I'm like so passive that I'm like, I'll think about it for a second. I'm like, all right, whatever. That's cool. But like, I don't know. I just, I let it go pretty quick now. I mean, back in the day, I used to like fight for it, but then it's like, you're just slowing yourselves down, that I'm pretty easy going with that now. But that's kind of like where, like being in so many bands for so long, like I would keep ideas that I would use for like my solo ideas, and that's kind of where that, like, I kind of need that to like be able to do everything I want to do, because I've been in so many bands where I'm like, I get what you're doing. It's like not like exactly what I want to do, but I know how to service what you're doing,
So like Go Rhythm, for example, that genre that it isn't just like a mono genre. There are multiple genres in Goat Rhythm, but at the same time, it sounds nothing like Ardi. Do you, is there something left to be desired in a band sometimes where you really have to go that solo route for a project just to really do what you want to do?
Yeah. It's always, for me, it's kind of always been there. Like I've always had, whether it's like I write a song and bring it to the band, it's like I like fully wrote this thing, or like now I have like that outlet of you kind of, like actually having my solo thing and doing something with that. But yeah, it's definitely like, because like I said, like I do work well with other people and like I could help like service what their vision is, but like like I need that outlet to like, because I'm music ADD, like I'm always like thinking of stuff, so I like need to, like I have to have something else, and it's cool to be able to do it myself,
Yeah, I absolutely understand. I 100% understand. There's just something to having a vision and executing it exactly like you want. And when you hear it, when you're done, it's like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. And it's a really great feeling. It's like, it's invention, really. It's like making something from nothing, almost exactly how you imagined it. So I can totally understand why you would want to. So this is going to sound like a silly question, but what's easier, being in an ensemble, a band with other members who have opinions, or making a solo project like what you're doing right now? What's easier?
Well, I mean, both of them have their, I don't know. It's like easier as far as like not having to, like argue with anybody than doing it myself. But then at the same time, you don't have input too. So then you like, I'll sit there and second guess myself for like how we are talking about over listening to a song, that you're working on. Like if you don't have somebody to like bounce ideas off of, you could drive yourself crazy, which I have, but I don't know, like both of them have the, there's as far as being easy, I don't think any of it's really easy. It's just, or easier than the other one. You know what I mean? I think it's just like each situation like presents its own challenges, you know, but like, which for solo stuff, it's like not having somebody to be like, no, that sucks, you know, or no, that's awesome. Keep that, you know, which in a band setting, that can be the hard part, you know, like that could get annoying and be like, no, let's just do it this way. But, I don't know, both of them, I've always liked just having both, you know. It's like the first time I've actually like put something out as a solo thing, you know, but I've always like I have made demos for a long time, and it's cool to finally like actually get them out there online and have people like have a really good response that I had. It's cool.
And did you record and mix and master Mind Maze, or did somebody else do that?
Yeah, no, yeah, I did. I did all that.
No kidding.
Just
wow.
Yeah. Which I'm like, I'll still listen to it, and because mixing, I like learned so much from like I did the Goat Rhythm EP, and
nice.
I learned so much from that, and then just mixing this and mastering it, it's like, oh, it's not perfect, but I at least I could say I did it to some, you know, like it's good enough.
And why? And again, like some of these will sound silly, but I just ask them anyways. So, you know, why do it yourself? Why not spend $1,000, $2,000 to, occupy $1 million studio? You know, why would you choose to do it yourself as opposed to pay for, professional ass quality?
For me, like being in bands where we have gone to like one of my old bands, Rubberneck Lions, we went to the studio. I can't even think of the guy's name, but he's done a bunch of records, but like in the alternative rock like genre, he's done a bunch of stuff. But it was like $3,000 for a song with him, and it was like just having, and not just that situation, but like growing up in bands and like recording at a studio and stuff, and like just having that like pressure of like all those records turn out to kind of have like that demo feel. Like the quality will be good, but it's kind of like you get rushed on stuff, or you feel rushed. And I'm like so guilty of having like the red light syndrome, you know, where I'm like, dude, I know this, but I'm just like freaking brain farting and like screwing up every other, you know, like it's just like that pressure and not being able to like the pressure and not being able to like take like months to like I was saying, like step away from it and come back and be able to record again. Like that's why I'd rather do it myself, you know. Like I would like to do something, you know, like super high quality, because I know my recordings are like, you know, whatever, but it's kind of what I'm going for anyways, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they sound great. I just figured I'd ask. I was curious if you had some like, philosophy or something, which, you have your wisdom, what you've gone through in other bands. I don't know that we should ever meet. I feel like I'm going to be looking in a mirror when I like we're alike in some ways, like the red light syndrome, dude. I freeze, I forget, I get nervous, and like I'm sitting on this, we're going to release an EP soon, and I'm like the last one to record, and I'm taking forever. I'm scrutinizing every note. It has to be perfect. And it's just like, a nightmare sometimes for my personality and actually I do it to myself though, dude. It's like nobody's even really putting pressure on me. I don't know what the problem is.
No,
maybe
it's totally
seriously.
No, me too. Like it's the same thing. Like nobody's even like yelling at me or anything. It's just like me tripping myself up, because I am like notorious like overthinker too, you know. So I'm like freaking overthinking shit, and when I don't need to at all. And that's like death. That's like death in a studio when you start overthinking everything, you know. But I mean, if I could have a studio where I could just go in when I want, and it's like a state of the art awesome badass studio and I could like treat it like how, you know, I could just work when I wanted to, then that'd be awesome, you know, and have like an engineer to work with, like that'd be cool. It's just like the money. And then I just started learning, like I learned like Brian Mikasa, one of my friends that lived with me in Ojai up there. He's the one who like out of all the friends was actually Jason. He got like Acid Pro or something. It was like a DAW from back in the day. And he like started making hip hop beats and stuff. And that's like kind of what he started making those and like started recording at his house. And like it kind of inspired me and it inspired Brian. And Brian like took it to like Brian's recordings are like top 40 because he does like evil pop type of stuff, but his recordings are like so good that he like really threw himself, and he's like super smart guy, but he threw himself into it. And like I started learning and seeing and wanted like super inspired by that. So started like tinkering around with like recording, but I always knew that I was kind of like demo quality like stuff, you know, that it was just like, that's why I never really released anything on like as a solo guy, you know, because I'm like this is just for me, and then like if I ever do take it to a studio or something. But yeah, after I learned like it would always be nice to get better equipment and stuff, but now that I get like the basics and stuff of EQ and like how to makes stuff sit right in the mix, I'm like, I love doing it too. Like I love recording, like when I record other people I have before here and there, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I like doing it.
It sounds bitchin'. Yeah, I didn't ask because you know, it didn't sound good or anything. It's really awesome, especially like you said. It's perfect for the style and the genres you're working in. It just sits perfect.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's great. And then also the other great aspect to your project, of course, the most recent thing is the video for Mind Maze. Just tell me about that. I mean, did you have this vision for that months ago? You know, tell me about the video that you just put out for Mind Maze.
That was like kind of like I had a couple of different ideas. Like I didn't want to. I don't know. Like I knew I had one idea where I would be like basically having like an hallucinogenic experience, you know, like stuff I looked at was all trippy and stuff, and like film it like really good, like good quality with like just something that looks like new and today, you know, I had that idea. And my friend Brian was going to help me film that because he has some nice equipment. He has a drone and stuff. And I was thinking about that. And then like I also had the other idea of doing like the green screen thing, and I like was just messing around with that. And I was like, I'm gonna freaking buy a green screen and see if I could figure out how to use it like good enough. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. And I mean, naturally, I can't take anything like too serious, so I knew I'd want to make it funny in some way, you know. So. The green screen idea, like as far as like doing the stars and that stuff, I was like, I'm just gonna make it all spacey and like something kind of cool to look like, visually stimulating somewhat, you know. And so it was kind of like I had a couple ideas because I'm always like thinking about stuff, but I didn't know what was gonna happen until I got that green screen and I got all like how I do when I'm tinkering with stuff. I brought it to the studio to our rehearsal spot and like cleared everything out and like started messing with lights and stuff and to see if I could actually like make it happen. And then it was working, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna do this and then I'll figure out what I'm like. I had the idea of doing like stars moving, some type of galaxy thing, but yeah, I just want to to make it like, once I actually started filming it, it was like, like the old like 70s like rock stuff that's like it like they are super serious, but it's just like so so like ridiculous, like that it's not, it's like funny, that's like what I was going for as far as like when I'm singing in it and stuff. I was just trying to go for that whole thing where it's like, wait, is this guy serious or what? Like I can't really tell.
Yeah, but I thought the composition was great. So for instance, what I noticed, of course, is that there's it looks like it's 2 layers to me. Like there's like some ground layer that seems to be different. Then there's a space layer too, but they both work so well with each other.
Yeah. That I like designed that in Photoshop, and it's just like a still, and then I put like some Marshall cabinets on there, and that was
great.
And that was like a still picture, and then I just made that an overlay over like the moving stars, and then it's actually, the stars is like there's 3 layers 3 layers at times, but there's like a galaxy picture that's just fixed in the back, like it's the bottom layer, and then there's like the stars, like Star Wars thing or whatever, like where the stars are shooting at you.
Yeah.
And then there's like this weird trippy galaxy thing that comes in that I like put in
spirals and stuff.
Yeah, that one that comes in every once in a while. Yeah.
And you edited all that too?
Yeah, I filmed like it probably would have been funny watching me, like, because I was at the rehearsal studio with the green screen and like myself, and I would like focus the camera and then run in front of the camera, and like so I did it all one man. Yeah.
And it's really awesome though. One of the things I liked about it is that, well, I like the whole thing, of course, but one of the things that I found that helped the video a lot was that you stayed within the theme. There was nothing irrelevant in any of the shots at all. You were strict to the theme. It was always space in the background, always the land layer that you had, and the idea was constant throughout the whole video.
I think I just started, like, once I started editing it, I was like, yeah, I didn't want to, like, obviously I didn't want to make it too much work on myself, like cutting like other landscapes in and doing all this other stuff. So I like, because when I was doing like the green screen testing, like I went to the studio and like tested it out, and then would come home and bring it to my computer because I don't have a laptop because I'm 90 years old. But so I'd come home and then try the key, or not keyframing, I forget what is it? Chroma keying. That's, you got to chroma key out the green screen to put your background in, So I was testing that out. And once I realized, like, I don't want to make it too boring, that's when I just like me playing bass and guitar, that's kind of how I would do it live anyways. But like the singing is where I really kind of like made it extra ridiculous as far as like the faces I'm making and stuff. Like, and again, like where you can't, it's like subtle enough to, or I tried to make it like that, where it's subtle enough to where you're like, wait, is this guy serious and psycho, or is he joking? I can't tell.
I thought it was great. I like that balance that you achieved, because that really has to be hard to do, because it's very easy to come off too serious. It's very easy to be so silly that you undermine your own concept. If you stood in front of the camera and made it like an obvious joke, you're going to lose half the viewers, because it's like, oh, this guy doesn't even care about, he's just making a joke out of
what he's doing. Yeah, totally.
So you had this fine balance between that where, you're not overly serious about yourself, yet at the same time, there is some authenticity to it. And I thought that was very clear. I couldn't articulate that when I first saw it, but I think you did strike that balance perfectly.
Yeah, I kind of thought about some stuff, but that was like one of the things I just didn't want to overthink, because I was like, I want to I have an idea. I should just try it, and if it doesn't work, then I just won't do a video. You know. I'm pretty satisfied. Like I like it a lot. It's just with some of the edits, and then with that, I knew I was like, whatever, it's good enough. Like at least you'll be able to tell that like it was like homemade. If it's not perfect, you know. As far as like the edits, there's a couple little, like if you really watch it, there's a couple cuts that like kind of mess up, but because my computer, the whole thing on my computer, like my video card, which I just got a new video card, but like my video card, it wasn't the best, so I had to like, once I get enough clips on there, it would start getting really like skippy. So it was like hard to see if I'm lining it up, you know. And I did that so many times that like once I like rendered the first version and it'll actually play, you know, it'll play smooth, I would see like a couple cuts that I did fix, but then I missed a couple once I was actually done. And I was kind of at the point where like, I think this is like as good as I'm going to get it, you know, but yeah, because I had so many layers going on and stuff and effects, and then like all the chroma keying, like my computer was just like, I hate you. Why are you doing this to me? I'm skipping all over the place. But there's that. And then like I realized when I watched it, oh, hey, sorry, dog bark. Once I uploaded it and watched it on YouTube, I was like, dude, I hope people aren't seeing it this way, because it's like it looks like kind of pixelated. Like I don't know if you noticed that when you watched it, but and then I realized that it like it's just the settings, like the settings like on YouTube, so it will look fine. But I was like, I hope people don't have to like change their settings to watch this like not pixelated, you know. But
yeah, I mean, it looks good. I want to say it did clear up a little bit towards like the second half. But I mean, it looks great. Like, looks great to me. Okay. It probably looks amazing on your computer though, just because you have the actual like file right there to just open.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that was like the only thing I was kind of like, oh man, well it's already out, and people like it got like 200 plays, which is like the most. I mean, I didn't really like seriously do anything on YouTube before, but like that would, in the past, that would take like 200 plays in 2 days. That would have took me like a year to do, you know what I mean? To get 200 watches or whatever, 200 views. I was just going to say, because I was thinking about like taking it down and like I thought I did something wrong or something, and I was going to take it down and try to re-upload it. But I was like, well, I already got like a couple hundred plays in a few days, so I want to take it down now. But what were you going to say? Sorry.
You should just upload. You should upload it again just to see what happens, like video quality wise. And if it is, you know, markedly better, you know, you probably want to go with it. But you can always upload a second and have it private, just so you can see.
Oh yeah.
Unless you try.
I know that. I should do that. No, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't tried it.
Have you uploaded the entire video to Instagram? Because you know how like you can have a longer than 1 minute up there now. Have you uploaded it to Instagram yet, other than a clip?
No.
Do you have any like qualms with that? Is there any reason why you wouldn't?
No. I should do that. That's a good point. I should do that. I kind of like was just doing like the teasers, and then I was kind of like trying to get people to come to YouTube to watch it. But I should just do that. Like, it doesn't really matter. It's not like I have all these subscribers and I'm making money or anything. So it doesn't really matter. Like, I should just put it on. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, because because it'll look good on Instagram for the simple reason that, well, actually, I guess I was going to say it'll be smaller on Instagram. But now that I think about it, if you put the whole thing, you'll have the ability to turn the phone, so it will go bigger anyways. But I bet it'll be somewhat, I imagine somewhat better quality. But I wonder too if there are lazy people out there who, oh, you want me to click a link? No, thanks. You know?
No, totally. Yeah, you know there is. I mean, because I I had so many people liking like those clips that I put on Instagram, but then like it wasn't funneling to YouTube, you know, like it was like, oh, this clip is so cool. It's like, well, you can watch the whole thing if you just click a few buttons.
So do you envision recruiting members for Ardi, or are you going to keep this purely a one-man show?
Well, like to do it live, it would be cool. And I've had a few people like, hey, let me know when you're ready. Like, you know, I'll play bass or drums or whatever. And I do, like, when I started, I just wanted to like make like a record and like get vinyl pressed. And like, that was my goal for my solo stuff. Like playing live didn't really matter. But now that people are liking it and stuff, and like, I want to see that live, you know, it would be. And the songs I have, I think would be awesome live, you know, it'd be powerful live, but I would like to do it. And I have so many friends that, you know, play. So getting a band together probably wouldn't be that hard. And then, yeah, like I do want to do it. It's just like, I mean, I'm not in any rush really, obviously right now too, but like, it would be cool to do it.
Yeah. Maybe when COVID, checks out, it'll be like a prime time for like a first performance. Maybe it'll line up.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So Jason, Ardissoni, I get the feeling we could talk all day, and we got to hang out sometime. I don't know if you drink beer,
definitely.
Or drink coffee. Some beverage of some kind.
Yeah.
So I'll leave you with this one last question. You can answer it any way you like. Jason Ardissoni, who the hell are you?
I'm a creative psycho.